The Knights Templar, and the Paranormal Holy Grail. The Knights Templar, and the Holy Grail have a long and deep relationship with the paranormal. The Knights Templar were a medieval Catholic military order founded in the early 12th century to protect Christian pilgrims on their way to Jerusalem. The Holy Grail is a legendary item of Christian mythology that is said to have been the cup used by Jesus at the Last Supper, and which later became the focus of a quest by the Knights Templar and other knightly orders. Throughout history, many people have studied the Knights Templar and the Holy Grail, and have developed various supernatural theories about its power and origin. In this video, we will explore the history of the Knights Templar and the Holy Grail, as well as the various paranormal theories that have been associated with them. The Holy Grail is a highly revered relic in both religious and cultural contexts, believed by many Christians and secular historians to be the cup used by Jesus Christ during the Last Supper. A number of Christian denominations consider it to have great spiritual significance, since it was supposedly used by Christ himself. Furthermore, some believe that the chalice was then subsequently used to collect his blood at his crucifixion. This has added an additional layer of mystery and reverence around the relic and its search for centuries. The search for the Grail has sparked much mystery and intrigue among conspiracy theorists due to its association with controversial religious issues, particularly in relation to the Roman Catholic Church. For instance, medieval accounts claim that members of a secret society known as the Knights Templar were actively searching for this sacred object across Europe while they were still under persecution from Catholics during medieval times. In modern times, these rumors have been perpetuated through various books, such as Dan Brown's novel The Da Vinci Code, which alludes heavily towards a vast conspiracy surrounding where exactly the Grail might actually be located today, if indeed it exists at all. Whatever its truth may be, this mysterious relic continues to captivate people's imaginations even today, making it one of history's most enduring mysteries. Before delving into the topic of the Grail, it's important to first mention one of the most enigmatic groups in history, the Knights Templar. With a history spanning over 200 years, and a significant involvement in the Crusades, it is suggested that the Templars had a strong connection to the Holy Grail. Though the order was dissolved in the 1300s, it is believed by some that many of the Templars continued their work, forming a new organization that still exists today, the Freemasons. The Knights Templar was founded in 1118 AD by 9 French knights led by Hugues de Payens. They were given permission by King Baldwin II of Jerusalem to build a monastery near the Temple Mount, from which they derived their name. The mission of the Knights Templar was to protect Christian pilgrims on their journeys to Jerusalem, as well as to defend Jerusalem from Muslim invaders. They also served as a financial institution, providing loans to European nobles. As the order gained recognition and support from the Catholic Church, they received donations from across the Christian world and developed a vast network of banking operations, which provided them with great wealth. The majority of the members were involved in managing the banking network and supporting their fellow knights, while only a small number were assigned to military duties. While many members were dedicated to managing the order's finances, only a small number of knights had been trained in battle tactics and warfare. As their wealth and influence grew, the Knights Templar began to attract noble-born members, who added resources like land and money. In 1139, Pope Innocent II issued a decree that further elevated their status by granting them exemption from local laws and taxes, as well as allowing them to cross national boundaries under the Pope's authority. The Templars provided banking services to pilgrims in addition to protecting travelers. They allowed travelers to make deposits with them in their home countries, which they could then withdraw when they arrived at their destination using a document presented for deposit upon arrival. Furthermore, the order managed the wealth of any nobles who joined it by keeping it in secret locations, so that it would be safe from theft or attack. The order grew quickly and had a strong presence across Western Europe. They were guided by a moral code that forbade them from ever retreating in battle, except when greatly outnumbered. For the knights, dying in battle was seen as the ultimate service to God, making them fearless warriors. The Order of the Knights Templar faced a number of challenges during the 1200s. The most significant was from the Muslim armies led by Saladin, which had already managed to conquer much of the Holy Land as a response to the Crusades and were now aiming to expand their territory further into Europe. Additionally, other knightly orders, such as the Knights Hospitaller and Teutonic Knights, also posed a threat to them due to their ability to move freely throughout Western Europe without adhering to existing laws or boundaries, something that put them at odds with many monarchs and nobles who saw this as a challenge to their authority. This caused tension between these competing groups and inevitably led to conflicts as each tried to gain an advantage over one another in order for them better achieve their goals. The Knights Templar had been established in the 11th century with the intention of protecting Christian pilgrims traveling to and from Jerusalem. However, by 1300 they were engaged in numerous conflicts which ultimately resulted in their expulsion from the Holy Land. This necessitated a relocation of operations to Cyprus, though the Templars retained much of their wealth through banking operations that generated profits. With no clear purpose left after losing control of Jerusalem, however, it was uncertain what direction the order would take next. The rise of the Knights Templar was swift, as they quickly gained fame, wealth, and influence throughout Europe. However, they eventually fell out of favor with the Church and were disbanded in 1312 AD by Pope Clement V following allegations of heresy. The order's banking operations had a long history of conflict with European kings, especially King Philip IV of France. Philip was particularly incensed when the Templars refused to lend him money, and he requested that Pope Clement V excommunicate them. When the Pope refused his request, Philip became desperate and ordered the arrest and execution of hundreds of French Templars on Friday, October 13, 1307, an event which led to the downfall of their order. This incident also caused superstition around the date Friday the 13th, leading many people to believe it is cursed or unlucky. In 1312, Pope Clement V officially disbanded this order and transferred much of its wealth and assets to another religious order known as the Knights Hospitaller. Despite the official dissolution of the order in 1312, many believe that the Knights Templar continued to exist secretly for centuries afterwards, protecting their resources and secrets from potential adversaries. Some conspiracy theorists have speculated that in 1717, the order rebranded itself as the Freemasons. This organization still operates today and is known for donating millions of dollars to charities worldwide every year. The idea of a secret society operating behind closed doors has only added fuel to these theories about an ongoing connection between the Templars and Freemasonry. The connection between the Knights Templar and Freemasonry is further evidenced by similarities in their rank structure. In the Scottish Rite, members can ascend to the highest level, which is known as the 33rd degree. This level has its counterpart in the York Rite of Freemasonry, called the Order of the Knights Templar. According to Masonic tradition, any member of this order must have already achieved a high degree within their lodge before they are eligible for admission into the Order of the Knights Templar. Furthermore, each knight must swear an oath to uphold certain principles and values associated with chivalry and Christian faith that were set out by the original Templars centuries ago. The legend of the Holy Grail dates back to the 11th century, when it was mentioned in Chrétien de Troyes' story Percival, or the story of the Grail. Since then, it has been a source of fascination for many, who have sought its power for centuries. Over time, there have been many different interpretations of what the Holy Grail symbolized or represented. Some believe it was a religious relic, while others think it was an allegory for spiritual transformation or enlightenment. The Knights Templar were intimately involved with the quest for the Holy Grail, having been tasked by King Baldwin II to find it during their mission in Jerusalem. Since then, they have become deeply intertwined with theories about its power and whereabouts. The legend of the Holy Grail has long been intertwined with the Knights Templar. It is said that following their downfall, they managed to take possession of a great many underground treasures, one of which was believed to be the fabled relic. What exactly it is remains shrouded in mystery. Some believe it to simply be a chalice, while others think it could even be something like Jesus' actual blood or his secret teachings. According to tradition, Joseph of Arimathea is said to have placed the Grail into Jesus' tomb after his crucifixion and later retrieved it himself before bringing it all the way from Palestine to Glastonbury in England. To this day its location remains unknown, but its power and mystery continues to fascinate people around the world, who search for clues as part of an ongoing quest for knowledge about our past. The Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland is believed to be one of the potential hiding spots for the Grail. Built in 1446 by descendants of the original Knights Templar, this chapel has a long and mysterious history that continues to fascinate experts today. The interior is adorned with symbols and artifacts still used in Freemason rituals today, while its basement has been off-limits for centuries, which fuels speculation that valuable objects may be hidden there. This includes rumors that the Grail could be located within these walls. The chapel has long been owned by the St. Clair family, who have held a deep interest in its mysteries since 1736, when William St. Clair was appointed Grand Master of Scottish Freemasonry. Today it is maintained by an organization known as the Rosslyn Chapel Trust, composed of many Freemasons dedicated to preserving both its secrets and its beauty for generations to come. The Catholic Church holds a firm position on Freemasonry, which it deems strictly forbidden and punishable by excommunication if partaken in. There are a number of supernatural theories surrounding the Knights Templar and their connection to the Holy Grail. Some believe that they discovered powerful artifacts related to alchemy or magic during their time in Jerusalem, while others think that they were privy to powerful spiritual knowledge or had access to hidden realms. In addition to supernatural theories about its power, there are also various paranormal theories about its origin. Some believe that the Holy Grail was actually a metaphor for spiritual enlightenment or direct connection with God. Others maintain that it is an actual physical object imbued with magical or supernatural powers. According to some accounts, it has healing properties and can make its holder immortal. In addition to these stories, there are also legends which suggest that the Grail contains great wisdom and knowledge but cannot be accessed by those who do not possess pure intentions. This could mean that only those of noble heart may be able to unlock its secrets. Another belief states that the Holy Grail is actually a stone, rather than simply a cup. This stone was known as the Sangreal or Sangreal, which translated from Old French means Holy Grail. According to legend, this powerful artifact was used by the Knights Templar in secret ceremonies and had abilities such as invisibility and healing. The idea that the Holy Grail is not a cup but rather a woman has been around for centuries, and many believe that it symbolizes the power of the divine feminine. This concept ties into ancient pagan beliefs about female divinity, which were later adopted by some Christian sects during medieval times. The Knights Templar in particular were known to have embraced this notion. They believed that Mary Magdalene was an important figure in their order, as she represented a sacred connection between God and humanity. As such, some theorized that the secret knowledge passed down from generation to generation among members of the Templars had something to do with finding or protecting what they saw as being representative of the Holy Feminine, the mysterious Holy Grail. Whether or not there is any truth behind these theories remains unknown, but one thing is certain: the Knights Templar had great respect for powerful women and held them in high regard within their ranks. While there is no concrete proof that these theories are true, there is evidence suggesting that they may be more than just legends. For example, some artifacts associated with alchemy or magic have been linked to the Knights Templar, as well as reports from witnesses who claim to have seen it in action. The Knights Templar and the paranormal Holy Grail have a deep and complex relationship that has been studied by many people throughout history. From their founding in 1118 AD until their eventual disbandment in 1312 AD, the Knights Templar were heavily involved with both protecting Christian pilgrims on their way to Jerusalem as well as seeking out powerful artifacts associated with Christianity, including possibly the mysterious Holy Grail. Over time, a number of supernatural theories arose regarding its power and origin, which have been studied by many people throughout history. Ultimately, it is up to each individual to decide whether or not they believe in these supernatural theories about the Knights Templar, and their connection to a possible paranormal Holy Grail.